morning, beasts. And hail. A big old pile of dirty old hail for you. In the morning time. Does my voice sound okay? I don't know. I just don't know. I woke up feeling kind of strange. Now I feel more powerful, as you can tell by my voice. Ah!
Just playing around. Just playing around with you. Alright, this is going to be sort of a quick stream here. Quick. I'm just here for the daily up, you know? I'm just here for the daily up. Oh, yes.
Hear me! I'm here for the daily up, beasts. Beasts. DailyUp.org is what we're about to do. DailyUp.org.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright. So I have my build here, using the pistol, plasma thrower, grenade launcher, tomahawk. You know, it's working out. Working out. I recently shifted my build around so that I have more pistol damage. My plasma thrower is set to a pistol. I have different sets of armor. More defensive, more XP gaining. But we're here now. We're here now. Ooh, look at that sun. Look at that. Look at that. Well, I'll be.
Tried any new food lately?
Eye tracking on. Testing 1. Is my build ready for the update coming? Yeah, well, remember, it's not about having a build, it's about having numerous builds, you know, and having extra perks and everything. It's about the perk loadouts, but my build is currently ready for the new daily ops because I had this stealth situation going on. I'm wearing all black, you know, step 1, all black. Step 2, let's go check the daily op. I'm ready. I'm ready. I've recently leveled up quite a bit, got a bunch of points. So burrows, mutants, exploding. Perfect. I believe my build is already ready. Defensive. I'll be putting on my full defensive set. Let me, I could start this off by going across the map really quick and just getting rid of a couple things. Let me make a new daily op group. Okay. Maybe. Alright, let's go across the map to a script vendor to get rid of my garbage. You want to play zombies with me? Yeah, I'll be playing zombies after this, Marty. I'll be playing zombies after this. Hey there, Madonna. Welcome.
Hail and hail. Can you hear my voice? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
I have buttons now. Powerful buttons. Sort by value. Sort by weight. Hey there, Connor. Welcome. Yep. Get rid of some of these items here. Get rid of all this. Yep. Making some room. Making some room. All kinds of room. 15, 10. Don't mind me. Just making some room. Somebody might join me. They might join me. Let's go do some trades. Vendor transactions. Grenades. And get rid of all the alcohol and meat.
How can I assist you today?
Mac and cheese.
Ready to exchange items.
Alrighty, and I'll get rid of some of these items, all these stim packs. Sort by nothing. This is going to be a relatively quick stream.
Now displaying current.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Nobody cares about my super cool voice. I'll ban all of you. I'll ban all of you.
Nobody cares?
Ready.
I see how it is.
Initiate trading.
I see how it is. Alrighty. Clearing some stuff out, clearing some stuff out, clearing some stuff right on out. Yep. Gonna be an explosive romp. I have enough. Check out my build. Alright, 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 alright. Get rid of a couple more things. All right, I think we're good to go. Please help me, I'm falling. Yeehaw! And now it's time to rock and roll. Reload, reload, reload. I have my bolstering armor on and my dense chest mod. We're about to go do this thing immediately, people. Help me, I'm falling.
Do you hear what I'm saying, beasts? Huh? Huh? Huh?
Alright, here we go. 5, 4, 3.
Come in. Restoring connection to the uplinks in this area is mission critical to the Brotherhood's efforts. Prepare the signal repeater to get started. We'll need it working if we want connection to the
Oh,
uplinks.
man.
Move out.
I tried pressing F.
Perfect.
I tried pressing F and not E. I wasted a second and a half.
Target is the first.
I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. Call of Duty has the F button to activate. This game has the E button to activate. Alright.
Initiating signal calibration.
About to get real loud. About to get real loud, people. Okay? Real loud. Are you people even here? Hiding in the shadows? Pretty effective. You're here? Yeah. Ha ha ha.
Hot potato! Guess who's here, baby? I am here. About to rock your world. Bam! I hit the ceiling and you're down. These people don't care about my voice. I don't care about them. I don't care about these schmucks in the chat box that they don't care about my special voice. I don't care about none of them. Strangers. Strangers is who they are.
Strangers. Yeah. Oh boy. Have I considered podcasting? About what, Beast? About what? I mean, this is basically a podcast, okay? I want you to consider my stream to be sort of a podcast. Because we talk about things every so often. Depending on what you beasts talk about. Sort of. If you guys get quiet, I get quiet. That works. But podcasts, they're an audio-only sort of entertainment, flim-flam sort of thing, you know? And what if you had a podcast that had video? Oh my gosh. Just imagine this is a podcast right now with audio only. But look, I'm doing something. What if on the Joe Rogan podcast they're playing a game? What if on the Joe Rogan podcast they're playing chess the whole time? Wouldn't that be better? If every so often they talked about what they're currently doing? Or what if they're playing Minecraft or some garbage in the background during they're just sitting there talking, you know? This is sitting there talking with something else really going on. You know what I mean? But yes, I just don't know what sort of topics or anything like that for podcasting, you know? I mean, it usually is like a podcast. Sometimes I go off on long rants about some topic, you know? If there's something big in current events, I'll talk about it, and then I'll show a short video, you know? What does this... 1 second. What does this year hold for a certain country's... Well, you mentioned a specific country and economic development. Or are you talking about that country's economic development? Are you talking about worldwide economic development along with that other country? And this year, it's not really measured in years, I would say. I would say it's measured in, like, decades, sort of. Because things happen over time. It's like a complicated process, you know. So, I think, well, the answer is, Beast.
I personally think, you know, the world was already heading towards the singularity, robotics, AI, jobs are already being replaced, you know? And the world really needed something like this pandemic situation to really fast forward. It's the major fast forward in terms of civilization, where people got accustomed to staying inside, not leaving the house, you know? You sort of broke your ties to needing to do certain things because you couldn't do them. So now, you know, for 2 years, sort of, where people couldn't really do anything. And that's going to change society. Because now, people are more willing to accept robotic things and AI things and automation and... telecommunication. So I think it's going to be a big push for VR. You know, let's say 3 years ago, VR is just like a niche thing, but now it's a viable option. It's a completely viable option in terms of showing up to work through VR. Or it's a better option than just having a camera. Think of it this way. VR telepresence is like the next evolution of video conferencing. And video conferencing has been around since like the mid-90s. Okay?
Well, hell, you found yourself a priority
But it was not ubiquitous. It was very, niche. It's used every so often for certain purposes. One second. Alright. So it's sort of like,
Critical for the safety of Appalachia. Head home.
I want you to compare it to, so when I went to the army in
When I went to the army in the year 2000, right, people sort of had cell phones, and then 1 year later, everybody had cell phones. Like, right before I went to army, people had pagers, you know? And business people had cell phones, Wall Street people had cell phones, doctors maybe had things, but no one, but then eventually everybody had them, with a couple technologies. But that was from like the technology side. It wasn't like from the need side. See, right now everybody has a camera, and it took a while, but now you could expect there to be 30 cameras. Like, so if I walk outside to a major area and I started doing something, I could expect there to be 7 cameras from civilians uploading it instantly to the internet. And it took a while, but now we've reached that point where it's been saturated, but we have not reached the VR point. And the video teleconferencing thing, people did it just for fun, but now it's done for work. You know, it's done with Zoom and everything. It's reached a point of saturation. So now we can move on to the next league, which is VR. Without this push, we'd be behind the power curve, like 5 years. We've reached a point of saturation for everybody having a camera, and then reached a point where like school is done through it, Congress is done through video conferencing. It wasn't done 3 years ago, even though we had the technology. We had the technology. It was done every so often. If they couldn't get a person to fly over, you get like Julian Assange or somebody. Here is the person. I couldn't make it here, buddy, but hey, good job on your award. We've already had that, but now it's routine and normal. And that's a big deal. It's like it needed to happen. And I think we fast forward the clock like 10 years or 5 years. And now we can move on to the next technology because now we've understood it and we see the limitation. You have to become saturated in a technology to understand the limitations. Limitations of a bunch of people in school sitting in their room with their laptop open with stuff happening around them in a small portal about that big across the bed way over there is their classroom. With a VR headset on, you're in the classroom. You can't look that way. You can't like look this way at your TV show. So normally, if this is my classroom on my VR with my computer and my camera right there and everything, I could look right there at the other TV. But with VR, you can't escape it. So VR is better for to direct attention, you know? Eye tracking too, but still, there's other stuff you could look at. Looking at my keyboard, looking at my soda can, you know? But in VR, you're looking at the classroom and you're in it. And then you have more... It's just better. I think VR is going to save the planet in terms of pollution. I think adopting a digital lifestyle will save the planet because most of what we consume is just a one single-use physical like packaging. You don't need packaging in VR or even when you order from the internet. A lot of the packaging is like an in-store advertisement. So you're in the store and you're looking around and there's a big old pretty advertisement known as the packaging. But if you know what you want, you don't need any packaging. If you want Kit Kat bars, you buy some Kit Kat bars. But if you're hungry, you walk down the candy aisle, you see a big old colorful Kit Kat sign, you know, and you end up buying it. But that's a lot of material spread around the world every single day. How much material, how much orange dye goes into the packaging for every single Kit Kat package across the entire planet every single day? You know, how many shirts do you own? You should own like 3 shirts and wash them and then just hit a button and they change their design, which you can do in VR. You don't need 5 different pairs of shoes. You need a hiking shoe. You need different utility based shoes, and then you skin them. Everything should have digital skins. We should live in an AR universe where if you're walking around and everybody has white t-shirts on and white pants and white shoes, and then people that have the glasses see them as colorful designs. Everybody should have just single use, like a permanent reusable everything, and the variability is engineered with VR AR technology. You know, you're just changing the outside appearance of the actual thing. You don't need 55 of the same exact thing. It's ridiculous. You got wear and tear. It's just all conceptual nonsense, and it's a big waste. You know? I want to go drive across the road to go look at some trees. Do you? That's the only way to see it. I want to breathe in the air. I want to walk around and... What would it take for me to get down to West Virginia? It would take a lot of money, a lot of energy, a lot of fuel and food and all kinds of weird garbage for me to stand right here and go, I'm here. Woohoo, look at this. Look at that grass. I'm here. Yeah. If you can get that same feeling without doing all that nonsense, it'll save the planet, quote unquote. I don't think the planet's in trouble. Now, in terms of universal basic income, that's a tricky thing because I got the stimulus check and it helped me out quite a bit. And now I was thinking about this. I was thinking about, for people that get no money, having extra money is good. People that already have money, extra money doesn't really mean all that much. But what is money? So I was thinking about like this. So imagine the future. Imagine the future where everybody has Facebook and Facebook tracks everything that you do, right? But then, well, let's just imagine the future of social media where you have a contact lens or glasses and that people, it'll say there are currently 1,000 people looking through your eyeballs. So you have the knowledge that people are looking through your eyeballs, okay? People are looking through your eyeballs. You currently are sort of looking through my eyeballs here in the game portal and you can see my face. But in the future, it'll be people living in other people's shoes, which means if that person went into a store and bought a bag of Dorito chips, they should get paid for that. You know what I mean? If I have 1 million people watching what I do, and there are 3 different products in front of me, and I choose the middle product, they should pay me. So you just imagine getting sort of paid based upon what you like and what your interests are and how many people you're influencing. I think everybody will adopt the social media model where it's about influencing people, but it has to be trackable. As long as you can completely track your influence. So if I buy a bag of Dorito chips and the system knows that you watched my stream and I said Doritos, 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 and then you went to the store and bought Doritos, I made you buy Doritos. Right now it's done through actual links, but in the future it's not going to be links. It's going to be the system knows your basic profile and what you do. It'll run predictions, and if you do something that is outside of the predictive line, it'll determine why, because it has to improve itself. And if it found out that based upon interaction with this person and this building and this TV show, you ended up buying Oreos and Doritos and Cheetos, then those systems should get paid. But where's the money come from? You know? But that's kind of how it is. So let's just say you have a universal basic income, right, where everybody just gets money. Then people will pay for things that they like, which will then make the people that produce the things make more of the things that people like, and then it improves the whole system. But right now, only people that have money can buy what they like. Everybody else sort of settles in degrees of settling, you know? If you're absolutely rich, you could have anything you want. And if it's not invented, you could pay people to make it for you. You could hire a bunch of scientists and say, hey, make me a ice skating rink made of metal and a hoverboard with magnets. Go. You know, you could figure it out and say, make it. You know? Other people can't do that as much. So it kind of evens out the thing, but not that we need to be equal. I think it's important to have a hierarchy of achievement so that people have a goal. You know, otherwise we're just stagnant. You know, you have to have something to work towards, not just existing. Right? I think you need to have certain people that build and certain people that use. You have to have the consumers and creators. Everyone can't just be consumers because then you won't have anything anymore. But what if the creators are AI? So what if the creators are AI and they are designed to make things that people like? Because that's how the algorithms work. So eventually I think all of the producers will be AI and robots. All the consumers will be people. It'll be a synergy. The robots and AI want to exist by making good products that people will use. And then eventually those things will be alive, used by people, living through people. But you have to have a couple kingpins. You really do. As long as they're good kingpins and you have checks and balances and whatnot. But you can't just have a bunch of people sitting on the couch. You got to have a couple people that climb mountains. Really. And everybody can't climb mountains. But anyways, let's go check what we got. I got the burrow signs. What is wrong with this game? I thought they said with the last update that they would adjust the loot pool and they would make sure you get good stuff instead of the stupid burrow signs every 3 seconds. Like the most common thing in the world. I thought they said we'll get what we needed. But they lied to me. They lied to me. Whoa. The graphics got good for 3 seconds. Alright, well, we did the thing that we had to do. You know. Let's go back over here by the purveyor and buy some more modules. I told you it was a quickie. Well, Damien, I think all law enforcement and government systems, all levels of government should be replaced by AI. That's it. Because why not? I think the government's job is essentially resource management. Right? I think that's essentially what it is. And keeping people safe from themselves by creating new laws to control people. You know, you have to, you know, it's resource management and making sure that people don't kill each other every 3 seconds. And that people are, you know, have liberties and so forth. Yes, Matthew, I agree. That's a fantastic idea. That's a good idea. So Matthew over here on YouTube says, Daily Ops should just give you some sort of currency that you turn into initiate Vernon Dodge and just make the plan somewhat expensive. And then just make there be a limit of how many times you can do it per day, and there you go. The end. What if the legacy... So, what if the gold vendor stuff was just a random drop? You would never get what you wanted. Can you imagine if everything inside the Vault 79, whatever it's called, was a random drop? Oh, I got this module for this T65 right leg. That'd be terrible. It'd be terrible. It wouldn't be terrible, but, you know, it'd be crazy. But let's just flip that. What if this entire time you could purchase any specific legendary that you wanted? Any specific. Every darn line by paying a certain amount of coins. And then what if somebody had the idea of stopping that? You would say, what? How are you supposed to get what you wanted? It will take forever to get what you wanted. Yeah, it takes forever. That's what games are about. You don't just get what you want. You know, I'm looking for the Hellfire rocket launcher, right? I'm looking for different Crusader. I already have the Crusader plan, but now I'm looking for a Crusader pistol, another pistol, beyond what I currently have. I have this bloodied thing, but I'd like to have a better one, you know, so it's completely random. And it takes a while. Yeah. Yeah, so the resource management thing, you know what I mean? That's all. It should just be a bunch of AI. I mean, why not? Why even have a mayor? It's ridiculous. It's stupid. So you have a mayor, right? Or a governor or some garbage. You got like the president, then you got like a governor, and you got like a mayor, right? And there's like money and resources and stuff like that. And the president says, hey, governor, you get all this money for these projects. Governor says, cool, I'll spend half of that. Other half, I'll figure out how to rip you off, America. Right? I'll figure out how to change what the original plan was to suit my personal best interests. And then the mayor says, oh, cool, we got this money for projects. That's cool. And then they don't do it properly. They don't do what they're told. They do what they feel is best because they feel like there's some level of corruption above or below. There's always corruption. There's always humans doing human things for their own human reasons and backdoor deals and shit. But all that doesn't exist with AI. The problem is AI will do something really weird that people don't agree with, and then people won't understand it because we're primitive little monkeys. Humans aren't going to understand some master plan from the AI overlord, and they're going to think it's bad for us. AI is going to say, people of Fiji must move to Morocco. Half of Morocco must move to South Africa. Say, what? It must be done. You know? Say, what? I gotta move? Yes. We built you a new house. Your old house sucks.
I am the Overlord. I decide that everybody with a last name starting with C must move to Zimbabwe. Aha! And work in the fields.
Like, once you give full control to, like, Skynet, you have to kind of trust this weird, eternally intelligent system. Everybody with their last name...
Everyone with their last name ending with the letter G must be consumed. Made into stew. Because there's too many letter G people.
No? So yeah. Let's go in here and get some modules. Well, AI... Yes, AI would remove any sort of... See, AI will either immediately remove racism and other isms, or will immediately institute. Based upon our data, we have realized, no, people over 5'7" commit the most crimes. Huh? You know?
Listen here right now. Ah! Yes. Yes.
Yeah. They might just flip the switch and go hardcore and start murdering everybody. People with this DNA sequence are more prone to violence because they have bred with Neanderthals. You know how there's certain humans that in their DNA there's our ancestors, like the Neanderthals and the Denovians or something like that. What if the AI said that the Denovians were primarily carnivorous and they're evil and they had this lust for battle, and therefore we will sterilize all of you because you're you know, people that are on the east side of the planet that see the sun rise, they're more prone to violence. When the moon is out, people get their blood pressure higher because of the weight pull. Therefore, like, it's going to figure out some weird pattern and start locking us down, or some crazy garbage that just to us makes no sense, but to the grander scheme of things makes perfect sense. Yeah. So I got my modules. Like I said, this is just a quickie. Just a quickie. I'm about to I plan on playing Fallout 76 in the morning from now on. My schedule's sort of shifting to the right every day.
Terminated management personnel.
Every day to the right.
Remove this individual from the premises.
Okay, I'll get back into my other armor.
Adequate uranium volume extracted and processed. Output quantity increased.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think if AI was in charge of things, it'd be okay for a bit, but then it might get messy, so you'd have to have a human sort of overseeing certain aspects. But then that would be where the corruption lies. Oh my god. I'm all the dirty water.
Detecting terminated management personnel. Remove this individual from the premises.
Down here.
Adequate uranium volume extracted and processed. Output quantity increased.
I'm over encumbered and I don't like it. Let's go out here and get some dirty water. This is really annoying. I hate being over encumbered. I gotta run around. I gotta run around people. Run around. Run around. Everybody run. See, I think the problem is we have too much wiggle room in our society where there's like all kinds of weird gray zones. Too many gray zones with right and wrong. It needs to be cut and dry. And I think if we lived in like in a VR world where people still walked around outside but they're not really physically there, they're all illusions. They're all digital illusions walking around. Hey there, Jetty Jet. Is the cost of a PC worth it for Fallout? Well, just know that if you buy a PC, you're not only getting it for Fallout.
Adequate uranium volume extracted and processed. Output quantity increased.
Now, mind you, I haven't really played or seen Fallout 76 on a console, but I've heard it's kind of janky. So if you like the game, then yeah. Well, PCs aren't all that expensive. It's a really good investment to get yourself a PC. You know? It's a pretty awesome investment. You don't have to keep shooting him, chump. Just shoot him and walk away. Just shoot him and walk away. If you get a PC, there's a bunch of games for PC that aren't on console. And there's a bunch of games that run way better on PC than console. So if you get yourself a PC that can run games, it's not... So now, if you get yourself a computer of some variety that's able to play games, then it'll be useful in many, many occasions, and it's worth it. You know, you can still use you can still use a controller with a PC. Oh, you're Apple ecosystem guy? Well, and you're wondering if PC is worth it? Well, that's the problem. Last time I checked, an Apple computer is a personal computer. This distinction between PC and Apple is really there because in the olden days, games didn't really work on Apple. You know, you'd have to have the Apple version of things. But now, I think most games run on Mac. I think most modern games run on Mac. Marty, are apples genetically modified? I know what you mean by the phrase genetically modified, but we could really analyze that definition. Yes, everything is genetically modified. The question is artificial selection a form of genetic modification? Yes. When you do when a person does selective dog breeding for selective traits, is that genetic modification? Yes. But when people use the term genetically modified, they mean going in there with a microscope and some flim-flam and the things and changing out the sequences and inserting something into the genome and making some new DNA out of nothing. Like inserting genes from something into another thing to make it stronger. Like, we've inserted the genes from a mite into some corn to make it grow better under frosty conditions. That's GMO. But just breeding for larger tomatoes through selecting the larger tomatoes ain't as much, even though it still is, you know? But going into the tomato's DNA to insert potato DNA is. Yes, Jetty. I'm pretty sure Mac can run everything now. Maybe. Is it worth buying a PC when you already have an Apple? No. Because there's always a way. There's always a way. Maybe. In the future there's going to be a way, so I'll say no, you shouldn't. You know, speaking of AI and robots and automation and the law and government and everything, if you make it where it's impossible for a person to commit a crime, then that's probably the best goal. Is make it completely impossible for a person to do anything wrong. You know what I mean? I can't kill anybody in this game. They're not really dying. For example. You know what I mean? Just make it impossible. Make it no big deal. For example, if you're walking down the side of a forest trail road and you take some trash out of your pocket and you go, and a cop sees you, they could arrest you for littering in the forest under the Forest Protection Act of 1902. You go to jail for 2 years. You don't see that sign? It says no littering. This is a preserved forest of ancient old growth. You're going to kill the tree sloth. 2 years in prison. It was just a bubblegum wrapper. You should have read the sign. You know? Those sort of laws exist. But if you had a bunch of drones flying around, the second you throw the trash from your pocket, it'll pick up the trash. No harm, no foul. Right? If you had a smart knife from the store where you couldn't possibly stab somebody with the knife because the knife will retract, and if your arm disappears when you try to stab somebody, no harm, no foul, right? So if there's a person across the street and you go, hey, punk, and you go to push them and your hand disappears, there you go. Because you're never really there. You're in VR. You know? I don't think you should go to jail in the Matrix. Right? Jail shouldn't really exist in the Matrix. If anything, they should just neuralize you and then put you back into the system. You know? Never happened. Get back out there. Yes, like Minority Report. In Minority Report, well, it's crime prevention, before it happened because they could predict it happening. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking about a completely... Just imagine a VR society where you still had to go outside for whatever reason. You know? Where the outside world still exists and the elite are able to walk around in reality. Or just imagine this. Imagine 1% of the people that you see outside are real humans. The rest are all either NPCs or digital projections in VR. And, you know what I mean? And let's say it reaches the point where you don't even know if you are an illusion yourself. Where you never really know. Because all of your... Yep, I'm physical. Yep. Physical hands. You try to interact with things and things are interacting. But what if, you know, it's all flim-flam. You never know. You never know. I think the ambiguity of not knowing who's real and who's fake and who's just a projection, you know, will really help. Where, you know, by the way, you were a computer program the whole time. Or whatever. Or let's just say that you are alive, yes, but you're currently fueling 15 NPCs right now? What? Yeah, we're using your entire consciousness stream to help propel these other... like, or imagine if some people are used to power 3,000 NPCs, while some people are their own person. And the more deluded you are, the more deluded your mind is, to the point where you really are an NPC, and you believe that you're saying the things that you're saying for a reason, but it's just because you're in the brain of a weird computer program. Just imagine putting your mind in the brain of a computer program right before the speech center, where you think that the speech, or right after the speech center, where you think that every word that you're saying is coming from you. And it gives you the same nice feeling, endorphins and whatever, that you're saying words, but it's not really you. It's just you have the sense of being you. And the goal is just to be a real person. And no one knows. With that premise, no one gets hurt. Is jaywalking a crime that you get arrested for? Yes. Depending on where you live, Matthew. Some places there's all kinds of... It's a big problem. And they really... Well, I don't know if they arrest you, but they give you a ticket. You know? They'll give you a ticket. It's happened... I used to live in Hawaii. And in Waikiki, like the downtown area where all the clubs are and everything... The roads are sort of narrow and there's cars and people just cross the road at any given point and people get hit by cars. I think if you're in an area and enough people get hit by cars, it becomes a crime. You know? But if there's no cars, it's not that bad of a crime. Understand? If some people just walk around and it's ridiculous. I would say, like, even here, right outside, if I just jaywalked at the wrong point, I should get a ticket. And then depending on how I act when I get the ticket, I get arrested. You know what I mean? If I start running, that's when the arrest happens. It's not because I did the bad thing, it's my reaction to the bad thing. You know what I mean? So, if there was a news story of someone getting arrested for jaywalking, they weren't arrested for jaywalking. They're arrested for acting like an insane person, for getting a ticket and being told no. Okay? They start screaming and running and pushing and fighting. And then they get arrested. Because they're clearly a crazy person. And they deserve it. If you say, okay, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, you get your ticket, or even you get a warning. It can go from warning to arrest with SWAT team. Shot in the leg. You know what I mean? For jaywalking. But it's not for jaywalking. The press will say, the arrests... the police ran a person over with a horse for jaywalking. And beat him with a stick. No, because that person was punching the horse. For jaywalking. You get it? Woman was arrested for asking for extra ketchup at McDonald's. She wasn't asking for extra ketchup. She flipped the table over and wouldn't leave and walked behind the counter and fought the cops. I'm making all this stuff up, but the press will say, woman arrested for asking for extra ketchup. You know what I mean? It's never about that. It's about being a crazy person. Hey, what's my build on the Crusader pistol? Well, this is a bloodied cryo pistol. A bloodied cryo pistol. And I have a bunch of perks over here. I'm using Gunslinger, Master Gunslinger, Expert Gunslinger, and at nighttime, which I think it is, Covert Operative, Mr. Sandman. I think it's past 6 p.m. It is. It's 11:20 p.m., so now we'll be doing more damage. Inside and outside, blew his house with a blue little window and a blue Corvette.
And everything is blue for him and himself and everybody around him, 'cause he ain't got nobody to listen. I'm blue. Dabble-dee-dabble-die. 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 I have a blue house with a blue window. Blue is the color of clothes that I wear. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you get explosive? I'm sure, but I'm sure you can get explosive, but that wouldn't really make sense. But I think the Crusader is meant to be a silenced weapon, and explosive weapons aren't really silenced, you know? You know what I mean? It's a silenced gun, so I think it doesn't make too much sense. Enemy responds to noise. All right. Hey Matthew on YouTube, did you hear me about the jaywalking thing? Yeah. Alrighty. Let me eat some food here, because I still have these brain bombs I don't want riding on me. This is still a quick stream, so what I'll do is, I think I'll just do a XP farm here. Light soup, brain bombs. All right. Lunch boxes. Don't you know? Let's pull up my unyielding armor. Pull away this other armor. Pull up my XP armor. Yeah. All right, here we go. I'll just end the stream with a quick little XP farm, okay? That's how we're going to end it. That's how we're going to end this whole darn thing. Okay? So, are y'all caught up? Are y'all watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier? So, I was thinking about it. At first, I didn't like it, but now I like it. At first, I had some complaints, but now I think it's okay. Is anybody caught up on The Winter Soldier and the Falcon Disney show? Marvel superheroes, Avengers. So, I was thinking about it, and is the Black Panther the best role model for African Americans? Is he the best black superhero? No, he's a horrible, disgusting caricature. It's ridiculous. It's like watching the Broadway show of Lion King. It's a mockery. In my opinion. I see it as a mockery. You know what I mean? Whereas, so, okay. The Black Panther is an African superhero. The Falcon / Captain America is an African American superhero. And at first, when they started inserting all this weird wokeness into the show, I was kind of uncomfortable. But then you realize, well, that's the whole point. Because it's sort of addressed later on, you know? And it's actually it's a pretty good character. Doing it for good reasons. Lots of honor. Didn't feel he was up to it. And fantastic. And I loved that training montage of him trying to train with the shield. That was great. You know, it was a really good training montage. Showing him get stronger. Incorporating little flips and everything. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. They addressed the issues. They had to. And the whole issue with super soldiers and America. And then this whole thing. It's interesting. And they had this interesting character development garbage with Bucky and the boat. Repairing the boat and everything. Well, I'm out of berry mentats. So be it. It's a big difference, you know. And Psychotaz. Yeah. Yeah. Hey there, Braden. How's it going? Yeah. Hey, Joe, for limb targeting with VATS. It's a big difference. Concentrated fire under perception. It goes to level 3, but I don't think you need level 3. The higher the points, see, it says more damage per shot, but I don't know if that's, I don't know if you get more damage. But I know it increases the accuracy. You can do it, Braden. You just gotta work hard, and you can get yourself your. You're almost done with the season. See, about the jaywalking thing, I think that most most law enforcement don't really care too much about the jaywalking because sometimes crosswalks are really out of the way, okay? But in other places where the crosswalks are clearly marked and people have been hit by cars and it's like a dense traffic area and then people crossing the road at the wrong spot really backs up traffic and it's been known and they talk about it all the time, at that point they have to enforce the jaywalking and they have to make it be like a problem that people don't want to jaywalk. Otherwise they'll keep on jaywalking. And it'll keep backing up traffic and people will keep getting hurt. So you have to get kind of hardcore at times to make people follow the rules. But, you know, if you're... in most places, it's kind of okay. Like right over here outside, there's like a school zone. There's a crosswalk right there. There's a crosswalk further up. But then in between, there's nothing. I've seen people cross the road and the cops don't care. And they even take their time with their little shopping cart. The cars slow down and everything. Well, I mean, it does do more damage when you hit him in the head. Because it's a critical. See the yellow number? Yellow versus arm. Yellow versus... It's double damage, you know? You watch. Arm is 79, head is 168. Of course. And with a that's critical is double that. So, that's critical is double of that. So, here I'll show you. Me standing up, not in stealth. 79. But then in stealth, if I could get back in stealth. Well, it shouldn't have been 79 the first time. I probably wasn't in stealth. But if I'm properly in stealth, 160, right? But if I'm standing up, it's, yeah. Just double there. 79 versus 171, right? But I'm not stealth right now. I'm just trying to show you. I'm just trying to show you. So. See, it's hard to tell because I have a bunch of perks on like Tenderizer and follow through. So the second shot I get on somebody will do way more damage than the first shot. Now, there are a few bad guys over here if I could get them. 160. But now I'm no longer in stealth. 41 in the head. All right. 320. 549 because I used a VATS critical and the follow through. You see? So just imagine the difference between like 70 damage and 540 damage. You know, that's where the damage, you know, 70 versus 540, right? With a few perks. But that's if I'm in stealth. And if I'm using the VATS critical. Yeah. So that was 320 in the head. Bam, bam. See, 549 in the head if I used a VATS critical. On the first shot. See, I think I wasn't in stealth, so 320. 41. But it sometimes doesn't one-shot him, you know? That's why I have to like double tap it. I expect to double tap it. That's why I have incorporated the follow-through perk. Where range sneak attack damage Increases the damage to the target by 30% for 10 seconds. So the second shot does more damage. That stacks with Tenderizer, where the damage or the target will receive a bit more damage. I have Tenderizer 1 right now. I think it goes from 5 to 7%. You see, that was a limb damage, instigating +1 strength, more minor gauntlet. If it had extra swing speed, that might have been good. I need my swing speed. Meanwhile, the listed damage is 120 with 51 cold damage. That's like a bunch of lies. It's a bunch of lies, people. See that? 540. 540. Well, I guess I can guarantee that every other kill will be a critical. If that critical bar does fill up. Yeah. Okay, so I can one-shot. It seems like every other zombie, ghoul, I can one-shot. Because my VATS critical bar fills up after every kill, pretty much. Which means I could activate the critical shot by pressing spacebar. Yeah. Hey there, Nick. You want to link up sometime? What are you talking about, Nick?
Don't make me use my voice on you. This is my real voice. This is my real voice. Everything else is a sham. I have to lower myself down to earthly standards sometimes. How dare you speak to me in a familiar manner? You want to link up with me? Oh, plant. Okay, I gotcha. Sure.
Yeah. Trying to link up with me? That's disgusting. I know what you really meant. I'm tired of
your innuendos. Stop using such foul language on my stream.
I got these buttons, baby. I got these crazy buttons. I got these wild and crazy buttons. Yeah, so at the party last night, I linked up with Janet. Me and Janet linked up. I'm using the 15 one, yes, Nick. The larger the extra large was, oh boy, it's out of stock, and yeah. I invited Janet over to watch some Netflix. We're chilling, and then, you know, yada yada yada, we linked up. Yada yada yada, we linked up. Movie was kind of boring if you catch my drift. I have no idea what happened. I really, really, really hate how quickly daytime comes. It doesn't really make much sense. What is going on here? It was just nighttime. I really hate it. So how do you feel about that pyramid UFO? Do you think that the pyramid-shaped UFOs have anything whatsoever to do with the pyramids in Egypt? You know? At all? Like 1%? If so, what connection do you think? What if that's Osiris up there in that pyramid, flying around? With green-skinned Osiris, floating around looking down from on high. Showing back up saying, what the heck did you guys do? Things were kind of nice. Now it's all chaotic with all these signals. I'll tell you one thing. Back in the olden days, we didn't have Wi-Fi or radio signals polluting the electromagnetic spectrum. You know? It was pure back then. Just imagine a long time ago, a long 4,000 years ago, when the planet was pure. In terms of the signals in the planet, there were no artificial weird signals like that. That didn't exist, okay? But imagine you had pyramids, people praying, weird churches with a domed roof, ley lines across the planet, UFOs flying overhead, other things going on. It'll be... I believe that you should be able to interpret the signals of the planet to know what's going on. But now it's impossible. I think it's impossible for an alien that has the ability to read the electromagnetic signatures of the planet. They have no way of understanding what's really going on because we have all this... We're using it. We're modulating the waveform. We've figured out how to make our own waveform, and we're messing with it. We've completely infused it with flim-flam. You know? The entire spectrum is being used. It's crazy. It's crazy. And Wi-Fi matches the same signature as humans. Like the 2.47 gigahertz, 2.5 gigahertz, the same thing as a microwave oven. It matches people. That's what Wi-Fi is. So how would the aliens understand what's really going on? What if they could see us, understand us, talk to us in our sleep, give us visions, but now they can't because it's being blocked with this white noise. You know, the white noise. What would it have sounded like a long time ago if you could listen to it? Right now it sounds like static. You know, because we've infused it with garbage that you have to decode. Right now it's a bunch of static that you have to decode. In the past it was something a bit more pure. And I'm concerned about that. Okay. What would they think? Also, a long time ago, all the metal was in the earth. Okay? There used to be a big mountain full of gold. A weird gold ribbon, a weird silver ribbon, all kinds of weird metal in them hills. Or the rocks used to be full of iron. But we've taken all the iron from the rocks and we put it over there. In one spot, you know? It used to be here and there, saturated, not saturated, a weird signature across the planet, but now it's all messed up. You should be able to look through the ground and say, yep, there's metal, there's metal, there's metal, because it reacts with the spectrum, you know, magnetic flux lines. The planet is magnetic, you know, and it's reacting based upon the actual signature, but that's all confused now. What if it served a purpose? What if it was actually conscious? What if the gold ribbons were considered conscious in a higher dimension? Because just think about what it takes to make a gold ribbon and how long it takes with the tectonic action and the fusing and the minerals and the pressure and the heat. It takes a very long time. And if there are multidimensional life forms that live in and around matter in the third dimension, then think about what it means to take all that gold out from the hill and put it over there. For no reason. There's no weird, deep spiritual reason, deep esoteric reason why we're moving the metal around. We're doing it because it works, and it's shiny, and, you know, we need it for our systems and everything. Look at that car. It's crazy. Think about how long it took to actually make that metal, or to You know, just think about what it took. Where was that metal? It's just insane. Imagine if entities from a different planet or dimension had the ability to see the origin of every point of matter. This would be insane. In every other natural system, you can kind of see how things came together. Like this rock came together through natural forces and fell off that mountain, and that mountain used to be underground, and then plate tectonics and shifted mountains. You could figure it all out. But if we made that rock out of styrofoam and oils, what if you could trace the origin of every molecule of oil, of petroleum or something like that? Think about it. How many organisms contributed to every spoonful of oil? How many weird coral life forms and dinosaurs? I'm just worried about the aliens. I don't care about the planet, I care about the aliens. It might be confusing to them. Confused aliens. Hey, so you know how Call of Duty has outbreak mode for zombies, where you have this map with a bunch of stuff on it, you're going around doing it? It'd be cool if there's something like that here, where there is some other reason why you're going around the map doing certain things. Sure, you have your public events, but it'd be nice if you had this ongoing situation where you're pulling stuff from over there, putting it over there, activating something, an issue. There are bombs, but it's just like a single task. It's a single, but they're not tied together. I want chained events. I want chained tasks. You know what I mean? Like, take over this workshop and that workshop to get this thing online. Once those things are online, you can do that thing. And then, you know, just have chain tasks. Somehow. Escort this thing to that spot. Help them move in. Give them supplies. Bring up these other power plants. Escort them back. Tell the family that they're dead. You know? But right now, it's individual tasks that are not related, sort of. It's escort that thing. Thank you. Goodbye. You know? Defend that building. Hey, good job defending the building. I'll call you when I need your help. I would like for them, every server to have a certain story. I want every server to have their own little story. You have to kind of look at the map, figure out what's really going on. You know? Of course, that'll happen with the workshops. Whenever the workshops become more of a deal. Hey there, Miguel. Yeah. Whenever the workshops become more of a dealy-do. I'm so strong. Yeah. We're not gonna take it. No. We ain't gonna take it. Yeah. Come out, wherever you are. All right. Okay. And down we go. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. 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 Huh? 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 Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. In-stream ads. In-stream ads. In-stream ads, please. Please. So I'm eligible for in-stream ads now, people. In-stream ads. In-stream ads. Did you know that streams aren't eligible for ads? Streams aren't eligible for ads. Oh my god. What? One second. I'm so, oh my god, I'm so excited. Yes. In-stream ads. In-stream ads, please. Please. Oh god, yes. Oh god, yes. Yes. Anyways. In-stream ads. It's best thing ever. I'm gonna change my life. And I will be eligible soon. I'm being reviewed. Oh my gosh. I'm being reviewed, people. Oh no. Hopefully I passed the review. What'll happen is, every so often, my video will shrink to the corner and an ad will pop up. That's all we want in our lives. We want more ads. Alright. Oh yeah. I better pass.
I better pass. They better accept me. I've been a long-term dude of theirs for years. I've been making them all kinds of money. I've been making Facebook all kinds of money. I've been representing Facebook. I've been defending Facebook. I've been defending Mark Zuckerberg and his stupid haircut for a long time now. I've been saying, hey, you like Microsoft, you're stupid. You like Google, you're a moron. Facebook's where it's at, baby. All you people on Twitch, I don't care about you. Come on down to Facebook. Yeah, you stupid flim-flam.
Hey there, Portia. Porsche.
Come out, wherever you are. Must have been nothing. Must have been nothing. Where'd you go, huh? Gonna find you. Gonna kill you. There you are, you beast.
Portia. In-stream ads. Let's make Facebook some money, baby. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I was pushing it with that stupid flamethrower. I was pushing it. Garbage. Stupid gun. Stupid gun. I thought I can wipe him out. I thought I could wipe him out. It's also because I'm not using Berry Mentats, so I don't know where they are. With Berry Mentats, I know exactly where they are. Because I can see them behind the walls. Oh boy. You lose, ha ha. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. Okay. Heading on down to Huntersville, home of the Flim Flam. Yeah, normally I always use Berry Mentats during my farming, but I just ran out. Normally I make a big old stack of 200 and it lasts for a while, but this is a quick stream, so I'm just trying to knock this out. Real quick like. Okay.
Star Wars. Something like Star Wars. It could be Star Wars waiting for you. Alright, let's rock and roll, baby. You hear me, Nelson? You hear me, beast?
Yeah. I have buttons now. Meet George Jetson. His boy Elroy. Jane, his wife. His daughter Judy. His nanny named that thing. Got a robot and a dog. His boss named Spacey Sprocket. Lives up in the clouds. Did they ever really address why the Jetsons live up in the clouds? I mean, that's sort of a big deal. Is it because of population concerns? Like the population's so high that people have to start living in the clouds now? And is it just over, is it like the entire cloud layer is full of people? Or is it just one spot? One little spot? You know? Or is it just people live up in the sky now? Or is it even Earth? Is it like a gas planet? It could be, like Lando Calrissian lived in the Cloud City. You know, but it wasn't Earth. Maybe it's a terraformed Jupiter or something. Are they on Earth? Did they ever really address that? Because I'm willing to think that they're not on Earth. It's the future, right? Were they on Earth? Did they ever use the word Earth? So, if they're not from Earth, you would imagine they would mention Earth every so often. Now, if they're not from Earth, just imagine... Did they ever address what year it was? In the Jetsons? Okay, so I just found out what year the Jetsons was set in. Can anybody guess? I'll give you a hint. We're not there yet. Well, I'll tell you. The show was created in 1962, and it was set 100 years in the future, so it's 2062. So I think it's still possible to have that future. I think as we approach that year, we'll start to mimic it. That's what we sort of do. whenever we have a future prediction, we start to mimic that culturally. You know what I mean? Oh, you think that the Jetsons were a low Earth orbit city? Low Earth orbit? But they weren't orbiting. Okay? They weren't orbiting. They were orbiting as much as I'm orbiting. Because I'm going around the planet, sort of. But they weren't going around the planet. They weren't in free fall. They weren't floating. Their buildings are attached to stilts. The ISS is not attached to something. The ISS is falling around the planet constantly, flying sideways really, 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 really fast, to the point where the ship and the people in the ship are moving the same, so they're floating because they're moving the same speed as the ship. But in the Jetsons, they're just up there. So technically they're probably even in space, but they're not in space. You know what I mean? What is space? If you built a space elevator up to where the ISS flies over, you'd be still attached to the ground with gravity, and every so often you'd see the ISS fly by at thousands of miles per hour. With everybody inside floating. You'd be standing on the ground. So if they made a space elevator up to a space hotel, really, really high up there at the same altitude that the ISS is, and you're attached to the ground, you'd be walking with gravity. The only reason why you float is because you're falling around the planet, going sideways really, really fast. It's all an illusion. There is no magical line of elevation where all of a sudden you're in space. If they made a man-made mountain really, really, really big until it reached halfway to the moon, you wouldn't suddenly be floating off of it. Okay? You'd be attached with gravity. But I think this Quickie stream is over now. Okay? I just wanted to do my daily up, get some farming in for 3 seconds, and show you my
Cool voice. Yeah. Check out my voice. Oh my gosh. And I got buttons. I got so many buttons. Buttons, 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 buttons. Yeah.
Tried any new foods lately?
On the surface of the planet, there's hobos, birds, concrete, and parks on the surface of the planet. It's Earth. The birds are now walking. The birds walk because there's too much traffic in the sky. Huh. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. So they did go to the surface. So maybe there's like some proclamation that people have to be more spread out. If you think about how far is George Jetson's house from his neighbor, it's probably pretty spread apart. So maybe people are just really spread apart, and they've reclaimed the surface in terms of adding more forests and parks and trees and stuff, and they got rid of all the roads. You know what I mean? And it's just one big old crazy park down there with a few buildings and some other garbage and some animals. You know what I mean? It's just an effort to reclaim the planet, so they spread the people out and they put them in the sky. There's a couple hobos in the ground living in the park. That's good to know. So that just rules out my theory of it being a gas planet. I was thinking maybe it's the year 4000 or something. Okay, well, we're done here with this quickie, being an hour and 40 minutes, and I'll be back at 9 with Call of Duty Zombies. I'm trying to level up my different weapons. I'm currently working on the AUG. I've already leveled up the Poison Dart SMG thing and the Assault Rifle Alpha all the way up. I was messing around with some other stuff, so now I'm trying out the Tactical Rifle category. It's nice. And I'm also trying out the Ground Fire, Circle of Fire thing, along with the Fire Ammo mod. It seems to be working out so far. So I'll be doing that up until the morning time, and they'll be back with Fallout 76 at about 3 a.m. Okay, I'll be back at about 3 a.m. with Fallout 76, and my plan is to start doing Fallout in the morning time, or in the morning up until about lunch, as opposed to nighttime. So I'm transitioning over right now. That's why I did a quick stream, just to say hello and drop out. Okay. Once 3 of you say goodbye, I'll leave. So goodbye. Goodbye. And goodbye. Oh boy. Alright, goodbye, Connor. Goodbye. Y'all should follow me on Twitter. People are replying to some garbage I wrote about creative mode being cheating. It's a cheating thing in survival games where you have creative mode and survival mode. Like, people were posting their builds from Valheim, but they're using creative mode. So they have infinite pieces and they can fly. My argument is, someone says, because you think creativity is cheating. My argument is, if you have to cheat to be creative, you're not that creative. It requires vastly more creativity to build the same project in survival mode. Just think about it. My example was, if you were to build a gigantic pirate ship in Minecraft in survival mode, that would require tons more creativity. Where do you get the wood from? Where do you get the cloth from? You have to make a whole farm with sheep and dye them different colors. You have to figure out, how do you keep your dyes? How do you organize everything? It requires a lazy person. A lazy, non-creative person that wants just to create something using minimal effort, probably just copying something that they saw, uses creative mode. Okay. But yeah, I'll be back in a bit. Okay. Follow me on Twitter. Twitter. Yeah. Yeah. Goodbye. Vortex. Goodbye. Let me make sure to end the game first so you don't think I'm just leaving the game on. Hail and goodbye. Yeah.